Across the globe, the chasm between the haves and have-nots seems to grow wider every day. But what is the root cause of poverty? Is it a trial sent by God, a test of faith and resilience, or is it a stain on humanity, a consequence of systemic injustice and inequality? Join us as we delve into this complex question, exploring two opposing viewpoints that challenge our understanding of faith, charity, and the very nature of God.
Thank you for having me. I believe poverty is often a test of faith, a trial sent by God to refine us, to draw us closer to Him. It is an opportunity to demonstrate resilience, to rely on God's provision, and to learn valuable lessons about humility and dependence.
I appreciate that perspective, Jesus. But I see poverty as a systemic issue, a consequence of human choices and societal structures that perpetuate inequality. It's not a test from God, but a reflection of our failure to create a just and equitable world.
But doesn't the Bible tell us that the poor will always be with us? This suggests that poverty is an inevitable part of the human condition, a constant reminder of our need for God's grace.
Yes, that verse is often quoted, but it's taken out of context. Jesus said that in relation to the opportunity to always show kindness and generosity. It doesn't mean we should accept poverty as an unchangeable reality. The Bible also calls us to seek justice for the oppressed and to care for the vulnerable.
I agree that we should show compassion and offer charity to those in need. It is a fundamental part of our Christian duty. But I believe that true charity goes beyond simply providing material assistance. It involves sharing the gospel, leading people to Christ, and helping them find spiritual fulfillment, which is the ultimate solution to their suffering.
Spiritual fulfillment is important, but it doesn't address the root causes of poverty. People need access to education, health care, fair wages, and opportunities to improve their lives. Focusing solely on spiritual solutions ignores the very real material needs that keep people trapped in poverty.
But isn't it through adversity that we grow stronger in our faith? Doesn't poverty provide an opportunity to develop virtues like patience, perseverance, and gratitude?
While adversity can build character, it shouldn't be romanticized. Poverty inflicts immense suffering, deprives people of their dignity, and limits their potential. Children growing up in poverty are more likely to experience malnutrition, disease, and lack of access to education. These are not virtues. They are injustices that we must fight against.
Perhaps poverty is a way for God to test our hearts, to see if we will be generous and compassionate to those in need. It's an opportunity to put our faith into action, to demonstrate Christ's love to the world.
I agree that charity is important, but it's not enough. We need to challenge the systems that create and perpetuate poverty. We need to advocate for policies that promote economic justice, create opportunities for marginalized communities, and ensure that everyone has access to basic necessities.
But isn't it ultimately up to each individual to take responsibility for their own lives? We can't expect the government or society to solve all our problems. People need to work hard, make wise choices, and trust in God's provision.
Personal responsibility is important, but it's not the whole story. People living in poverty often face systemic barriers that make it difficult to escape their circumstances. They may lack access to quality education, healthcare, or job opportunities due to their race, ethnicity, or geographic location. We need to address these inequalities to create a level playing field for everyone.
I believe that God provides for those who are faithful to Him. If people truly trust in God and follow His teachings, they will be blessed with abundance.
That kind of thinking can be harmful. It suggests that poverty is a sign of moral failure, that those who are struggling are somehow less worthy or less faithful. This is simply not true. Many people live in poverty due to circumstances beyond their control, such as disability, illness, or discrimination.
But doesn't the Bible warn against the dangers of wealth? Jesus said, "It's harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle." Perhaps poverty is a blessing in disguise, a way to protect people from the temptations and corrupting influence of wealth.
But doesn't the Bible warn against the dangers of wealth? Jesus said it's harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. Perhaps poverty is a blessing in disguise, a way to protect people from the temptations and corrupting influence of wealth.
Ultimately, I believe that God has a plan for each of us, and that poverty may be a part of that plan for some people. We may not always understand why God allows suffering, but we must trust in His wisdom and His love.
I respect your faith, Jesus, but I believe that God calls us to be active agents of change in the world. We can't simply accept poverty as God's will. We must work to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a life of dignity and fulfillment. God gave humans the resources and capacity to create a fair and just society. Let's not let that ability go to waste.
But what if our efforts to eliminate poverty are ultimately futile? What if poverty will always exist, despite our best intentions?
Even if we can't completely eliminate poverty, that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. Every effort we make to reduce suffering, to create opportunity, and to promote justice is a step in the right direction. We are called to be faithful stewards of God's creation, and that includes caring for the poor and vulnerable. We have to give it all we've got.
The debate is far from over. Is poverty a divine test or a human injustice? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. What is clear is that as Christians, we are called to respond with compassion, generosity, and a commitment to justice. How will you answer that call?